fresh off the heels of our amazing conversation with Voice of Reason, he sat down with Father Josiah, an Eastern Orthodox priest, and had a beautiful conversation about what's happening in society today. Now, I'll be honest. I was expecting a bit of a debate between Father Josiah and Voice of Reason, but what I got was even better. They actually didn't really debate at all. They talked about some of the ills and the pearls that are happening within the culture right now, within the greater American Western machine. Voice of Reason's channel, go watch it. An Orthodox priest and a Catholic apologist break the internet. Fire conversation. Love this conversation. Check out the point that Father Josiah makes.
Oh, we're at this incredible moment where people have tasted this slop and they're reconsidering, seriously reconsidering whether the trajectory that we have been on in our culture, which is a trajectory that has no tangible commitment to morality. I'll give you an example.
So he said, now that people have tasted this slop, who is he talking about? I think he's talking about the broader cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah.
The people that are in society. But I also think he can be more specifically, potentially including the Joe Rogans, including the folks who have been now propagating some of this stuff that we've all kind of had passed down to us, and it's all been deposited in us in terms of the sexual revolution and feminism and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
We all grew up in this world where, like, those are the dogmas. And he's saying, now that we've tasted this, there's a shift happening. People want something more. They want something different. So now listen to the specific point he makes, though.
One of the great Supreme Court justices of my time is the late Justice Antonin Scalia. A very famous man, a profound originalist, someone who wrote a ton about law. In 2003, the LGBT movement at the time, which was making massive gains, attacking marriage, that movement since the beginning in the 60s has been formally trying to eradicate marriage. They've always mocked it. Then all of a sudden they saw an opportunity to say they wanted it so that they could redefine it. So we had this huge movement for legalizing sodomy. In 2003, in a case called Lawrence versus Texas.
Legalizing sodomy? In 2003?
Yeah.
It was illegal?
It was in certain states.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm excited to bring you guys our very first 3-day conference called the Bless God Summit, happening March 27th, 28th, 29th in Southern California. And at this conference, we'll have your very own Preston Perry.
Me, as an evangelist, I've made it up in my mind that I'm not going to leave people with an excuse not to serve Jesus.
Dr. Sean McDowell.
If there's one thing Christians should care about, it's truth.
Our vision with this conference is to equip, empower, and inspire people to do the work of the ministry that God has for them in this time. And at this conference, we'll have your very own Alan Parr and his wife, Jim Parr.
The number one reason, people want to get divorced because they want to find someone else who can make them happy. Now, what they don't realize, they're chasing the wind.
John McCrae from What Do You Mean?
What you may be shocked, or you may not be shocked to know, is that the majority of Christians in America, they don't know how to articulate the message of the gospel to non-believers.
Lila Rose.
Love and marriage go together, that sex and marriage go together, that sex can bring life into the world, and that's an amazing thing, that's not a bad thing.
Trizzle Fitness.
Most people fail at dieting because they're just trying to lose weight too fast. What are you in such a rush for?
But where a lot of people get stuck is figuring out what it looks like to walk in that. And so these 3 pillars of our conference will be covering everything from apologetics to family in the home and the marketplace, and how you can lean into those 3 pillars to discover your calling on this side of eternity.
Scalia wrote a minority opinion in that case, and he said, this decision, this Lawrence versus Texas decision, is the end of morals legislation in America.
Right.
Now, remember, he's talking about 2003. This is when this is starting to come up and be in the zeitgeist. And he says, hey, this is the end of morals and how we're navigating this conversation. Honest question, how are you going to enforce people not doing sodomy? I think it's less about, it's like
co-signing versus...
Yeah, it's like co-signing versus enforcing.
It's like jaywalking.
Yeah,
don't jaywalk, but we're not going to give you a ticket if you do, I guess.
Right. Well, it's also like the unborn issue. Like, how are you going to enforce women using coat hangers? You know? Well, I guess you can't, technically, in a real technical sense. You can't. But you also don't make it easily accessible and celebrated and tolerated and, flags everywhere in a whole month.
Yeah. It's pretty extreme, though. Yeah. It's like picking your nose illegal. The finger was not meant to enter into the navel cavity.
No. That's not the same thing.
Nasal cavity.
It's not the same. All right, play the rest of this.
We can no longer make any reference to the Ten Commandments. We have to refer to God and the commandments all the time and the scripture in our law. It was just normative because how are you going to have law?
Just for the record, this set is fire. It's not a set. It's a church. But goodness gracious, the Eastern Orthodox.
It's the most Protestant thing we said today.
Yeah, seriously. This is oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If I could pull up to my Armenian Apostolic Church and they let us just
podcast.
Oh gosh.
Oh, come on, man.
Supreme lawgiver.
And Antonin Scalia was right, because look at everything that's happened since 2003.
That's right.
All of the laws,
That's
everything.
right. That's right.
Even the conservative justices who respect him have tried to maintain his legacy, but they have to do it through procedural law. They can't actually reference an abiding moral law. I think we're at a time in our culture where we can say enough is enough.
Right, yeah.
There is God.
Come on.
There is a Bible.
Come on.
As a culture, we ask that you refer to it.
Yeah.
That God, that Bible, that belief system, that culture is what built Western society to begin
That's
with.
right.
Hello.
You need to say, what we're doing right here, talking about the Supreme Court, this law, we would not have it without the God of Israel. We would not have it without His Son, Jesus Christ. We only have what we're doing here. We only have it because the Bible, the faith, is what allowed us to do this. We came out.
People want the fruits of Christianity. They want the society and the civilizations that Christianity presents. They want the protection that Christianity gives to non-Christians without wanting the root of Christianity. You want the benefits without the truth claims. It's no different than Richard Dawkins saying, "Oh, I'm a cultural." Do your Richard Dawkins impersonation. I'm a cultural Christian. I like the cathedral. I like the cathedrals, and I like the Christmas songs, and I like all these different things. Why? Well, you want the fruits of it.
Yeah.
You want the cultural benefits of it. You want the beauty of it. But when it comes down to the root of it, all of a sudden we have issues.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're squirmish. You're like, don't make truth claims. Do you really believe in a virgin birth? Fam, it's a miracle. Like, that's the point. Like, they're rare. Yes, we believe in it. But we're not saying everything is a miracle. No. We're saying the very essence of what a miracle is that it defies the material limitations that operate in the natural world. That's what makes it a miracle.
Yeah.
So, yes, we believe in miracles. We just don't think everything's a miracle.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. So, anyway, shout out to Voice of Reason. I'm sure we'll do something again soon. And shout out to Father Josiah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sweet.
He has a
Great
channel
takes.
as well. Yeah, he has a
We
channel
should
as well.
have Father Josiah on.
I would love to have Father Josiah on. Father Josiah, if you happen to be watching this, check in. We'd love to have you in.
I'm almost Orthodox.
Almost Orthodox. What is that?
That's just my way of baiting Orthodox.
Oh, don't
to
do
come
that.
onto the
Don't do that.
podcast.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't lie.
No, I'm not almost Orthodox. I am. How would you put it?
I don't know what you
How would
are.
you put it for me?
I think you're
know me.
charitable towards Orthodox and Catholics, unlike many fundamentalist leaning Protestants that don't think they can be saved. I think that's what you are. And I think you like the aesthetic, but I don't think you could rock with the full propositions of it.
Yeah.
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 You know what the stuff I'm talking about.
Hey,
we talked about it with the Voice of Reason.
yes,
Speaking of which, go
some
ahead.
of them though,
Yeah.
some of them, like I feel like I'm gonna end up having 10 kids regardless,
Respect.
on accident.
On accident. Or not. Yeah. All right. If you want to see my conversation with Voice of Reason, click this video over here and make sure to check out our Bless God Summit right over here. All right. We'll see you guys over there. Peace.